Hello, this is a demo for the latest version of Enterprise Edition of Mint Service Desk. First of all, this is the web portal. Mint Service Desk is a web-based software. Here is the web portal where different types of roles can log in, and users, clients, customers, agents, technicians, and administrators are the ones who can log in this web portal. First of all, uh, we are able to do some corporate branding changes or white labeling changes by changing the logo here, the background here, and some additional changes. Also, we can connect to a database, or you can tell your clients or your users to register, and that will create a new account, and then later on your admin part you are going to be able to activate this account. This is one way to do it. Also, additionally, we have the capability to integrate with different backends like Active Directory, Azure AD, LDAP, and some other ways to connect to different backends. All right. And also we can have a local database where you can register your agents, your clients, and end users. So there are different ways to have a source of the users who will use the system. Then after that, what I will do is that I will log in as a customer just to show you the customer portal, because in the ITSM solutions and the service desk and help desk, it's always very important to provide a customer portal to the user, so then they don't need to only create tickets by email, because remember that there is one chance to create a ticket by email just by sending an email to, let's say, support@mitsd.com. That is an email box that is registered in the system. We can have many of them with different kinds of connections and protocols. And then for that, sending an email on that address, it will create a ticket, and then the follow-ups and the replies, everything will be registered in a ticket. That's one way of creating tickets, one source. The other source, and a good one, is this customer portal. It's very relevant because it's not it's you are going to be able to provide additional information. The idea with the customer portal is that the customers can provide additional information. Okay, so this is the customer portal view. That the first thing is that is displaying lots of different cases and categories. That this is of course 100% configuration, and you can it's custom made, so then you can configure anything you want. Pretty much everything what you will see in this demo, you are going to be able to customize it, to change, to put, let's say, if you don't want to say it IT services, but information technology or human capital or whatever you decide to add, feel free to think that everything is possible to adjust or to change. This is just a demo that we created to make some real examples. All right, so we have the different cases that you can configure your email, um, the text that is here, etc. So in this case, let's pretend that I'm an end user and I'm having uh, typical issues in the network. So it's not working, it's slow, something. I have an incident to report. So the idea, we have two ways of creating tickets. Normally, of course, there is a way to create a manual ticket that you can fill the subject, the title, and the description and additional fields to the ticket, and then that's the way to create a manual ticket, let's say. But if I go back to the customer portal, the idea of these cases is that most of the fields are predefined and pre-filled. So then you can just create a ticket really quick in a couple of minutes. So that's the idea behind these cases of the customer portal. So I will click here on create a ticket, and as you can see, the subject and the description is predefined. Of course, in a real example, we can have much more description, much more detail on the incident I'm creating, but the idea is just to have a very quick way to create a ticket that I can just only click here on create, and that's it. But I will do some additional steps just to show you some additional features in the system. All right, so one of the things that I can tell you is that Mint Service Desk, it is related or it includes a module for asset management. We have a very related relation, very close relation between the asset management and the ticketing management part because we believe that there's always important or there's always an asset related to a request or to an incident. Like in this example, I have problems with the network. My car is broken. I want a new computer or a new mobile, So everything that is about a request or an incident or anything like that, a complaint or something is related about an asset. Can be something physical, can be a license, can be something virtual, but at the end, it's always important to reference the asset because, as an example, let's say that I'm saying I have some issues with the Wi-Fi or with the internet, and the technician will tell me, yes, but where? Because you have a laptop assigned, a desktop or a tablet or a mobile, different devices that where you can have also issues with or problems with the internet, So then, as more or as much as we can specify in the ticket in the system, that would be great. So then, this comes into a more like a suite of solution with a lot of features, So you can use it very basic, or you can see all these features additionally. So in this case, it will be great because then I will say, okay, I will add asset and I predefined it when we created this demo system, these two assets that are assigned to this user, a printer and a laptop. So I can say, okay, the issue or the problem the incident that I have is is on this laptop. So I will check and select this laptop and I will click on save. And then I am telling the technicians or the agents that where I'm having this issue. All right. So then I have with issues with the internet. Okay. So one additional thing that at the moment that I write something that matches one of the articles of our knowledge base, then the system automatically pops up an article with a possible solution. This is an additional module that is the knowledge base module that in this case, of course, is a very easy text with article telling me the common things that when we call an ISP provider, then they are telling us, please check the router, check the speed, check the cable, these different steps for do first troubleshooting. Also, you can add, of course, screenshots, PDFs, uh, pictures, manuals, videos, and to make a much complex and nicer article. That's not a problem. But the idea is that we have certain kind of users that they sometimes they like or they want to do some things first on their own, some troubleshooting, and then if they cannot do it or fix it on their own, then they will create a ticket. That's also another advantage of using the customer portal that you are able um, to display or to put in hand some articles from the knowledge base, some guides, some documentation that the users can get hand on, and then that will help them. All right, so that's the case. Let's say that in this case it didn't help me, so I will still create a ticket. Okay. So one additional thing that it's a very nice feature is that let's say that I want to send a screenshot for an incident that I want to show. So then I can just do something like this. Select it from a Windows machine and then just copy paste, and the system automatically, as you can see here on the preview, will attach and will add on the text the screenshot. All right, so with that I will just click here on create and then it will create a ticket. So that's very easy. And the next thing that happens is that the system leads me to the details of the ticket, the zoom view, the details of the ticket, where I can see the ticket number, the company, the user, the status of the system of the ticket, sorry, the queue, etc. So some basic elements from the ticket that at the time that an agent will start working on the ticket, I will see updates on the ticket. And also, it brings me to the chat view. This is a very nice view because if there is an agent on the other side that is online, we can start a conversation. We can have this is a chat, a very common view for a chat. meeting discussions, and um, we can get even the agents can answer or can solve the tickets with the chat. Also, additionally, we have a very strong API, Mint Service Desk, that we can integrate with different other communication channels like Microsoft Teams, WhatsApp, and many others. So that's very helpful just as a matter of adding additional channels of communication. This is one of the things that it's a nice feature from Mint Service Desk, that we are able, or the system is developed in a way that we can extend it with additional plugins or add-ons that this can extend or can solve and cover a specific requirements from the clients. Okay, then if I go back, then of course at some point the agent will solve the situation. I can receive this also notifications by email, because here I have the notification and I can decide if I want these notifications on the system by email and many other options. Okay, additionally here, apart from the customer portal, I can also go to the dashboard and I can see the tickets that I have open, and also my team, because we have an option. This is not a mandatory functionality, but there is an option that if I belong to the same company or department, if it is for a third external clients supporting system, then let's say that the provider gave us a couple of accounts to log in and to report incidents or any issues. So then I can see the tickets from my colleague because we belong to the same company and the same contract. So that's one case. And if that's so, here I will be able to see not only my tickets, but my colleague's ticket, if that makes sense. Or here in my tickets, I will only see only the tickets created from myself. Okay, so that's the case. That's the idea on that one. And then, of course, you're going to be able to follow up um, the ticket and be sure that you receive the answer, and the ticket will be solved and closed. Okay, so that's about the main idea. Also, we are able to see the assets that are assigned to me, and that's the main idea on the customer portal. Now, what I will do is that I will log in as an agent, because that's a very important part to show how the technicians will receive the ticket that I just created. Okay, so I will log in as an agent, and basically the first thing that will happen is that I will see on the left side the alerts, push notifications from the system, the activities and the activities list from the tickets that I have permission. So in this case, the system is telling me, as you can see, we have all notifications like escalations from all tickets, the SLAs, etc. So in this case, I have a new notification from the latest ticket that I just created. Remember that we have this ticket from the client. So I will click here, and it's also, as you can see, you can find it also here is in bold font. So then it's telling me that there is this ticket, it's a new ticket. So I will click here, and the system will lead me to the details of the ticket. If you remember, this is what I wrote when the ticket was created, and this is when I was showing you the chat view. Okay, so with all this information, now I'm gonna be able as an agent to do many things on the ticket details. On the right side, if you remember, we have the ticket details, the information from the ticket number, the company user, that let's say for some reason you want to reclassify or see more details about this user, I can just click here on the name, and as you can see here, we can find more information, the phone number, how many tickets from this user we have. Even if you have permissions, this is important that right now I'm showing you the full suite and all the features from the system. But remember that Mint Service Desk is made or is based on roles and responsibilities, so you can define that not all your users can see everything that I'm showing you, so then you can show or hide different features, like nobody can edit, let's say, a user. That's also possible, but in this case, I am able to edit the account, okay? So in this case, I can change the number, the email, etc. So that's an idea. Also, the amount of tickets, the company that it belongs this user, and additional fields. As you can see, we can have additional fields and custom fields. Okay. So additionally, we have the company also. If I click here on the company, it's a hot link. So then I'm going to be able to see the VAT ID, the address, how many tickets total from this company, and additional custom field. Let's say an active support contract, yes, no. So some additional custom fields that, of course, you can configure anything you want. These custom fields are very helpful to extend the system in any way you prefer. Okay, and the global details from the ticket, that also this is a nice way or start to reclassify the ticket, like the status, change the status, assign, let's say that I'm assigning this agent to work in this ticket. So then, as you can see, the status changed to in progress. Then if you want to relate a ticket, then yeah, I want to relate this ticket as just one-to-one relation, as a parent and child behavior, or as a subtask. All of these ones have different behaviors. I will show you the details later. Then I can reassign the queue that is the group who is solving the ticket. In this case, let's say that first I have a rule that any ticket and any new ticket comes to the service desk, and if for some reason they cannot solve it for the first, then next one they can escalate it or send it to a second level of solution. So then they can send it to IT, or if it belongs to HR, etc. So then you can send it to the proper group that will solve the ticket. Then I can see the asset that I related when I created the ticket. If you remember, I can just click here, and the agents can see the very quick view of the details of this asset. Like as an example. When is the warranty expiration date? It's by end of this year. Still on warranty. So that's perfect, because then I will continue on the support. Otherwise, if it's out of warranty, then it doesn't make sense. Just to give you an example, okay? If for some reason then you want to reclassify the ticket, like, okay, it's not an incident, but it's a service request or something like that, then you're able to do it. And the same for the service, like reassign the service or something like that. Additionally, we have contract that I will show you what it is about. Priority also, the idea for the agents is like, once I check the details and what is this about, and I ask some questions, then I'm gonna be able to say, okay, you know what, this is a low priority because the impact is low, it's just only affecting one user. So you can classify that. Then some additional features, like very nice ones. As an example, let's say that I did some first troubleshooting, but I need to call the vendor tomorrow morning just to fix this issue. So then I can just click here, reminder, select the date, put, let's say, 8 a.m., and then I can just put something like call the vendor, and then the system, I will click here on save, and tomorrow at this time I will receive an alert like this one on the activities side, or in the email, depending what I select, reminding me about this ticket, depending reminder. So this feature is very helpful, because then for doing that I can just move and start work in another ticket, because I already did what I can do here, and automatically the system will remind me tomorrow on my pending task. So this is very helpful to arrange and administrate the work for the agents. Okay, then we have the age from how much time from the ticket was created, estimation of spend time, that these are part of the time tracking. I will show you in a minute. And as you can see down here below, we have the SLA modules. We have an SLA module, service level agreements, that we have different times to solve. We have first response time, that it was covered with an answer. Then update time, how much time I have to answer for the second, the third time, and so on. Like as an example, if I just click here and type like, hi customer, how are you? Or start chatting with him, then we will start having a conversation. And as you can see, the update time restarted the time again, because that's one time. Then also we have a workaround time, how much time we have to provide a workaround, because sometimes also there are certain contracts that we offer to certain specific time to offer a definitive solution, but also our workaround time. So we have four different timings for SLAs, and we can have multiples if for different services and types. And these are based on certain parameters, and of course based on certain calendars, working hours, etc., and holidays, and then more complex calendar that you can configure in your based on your working time. Okay, so as you can see, there is a bar here that is growing and growing based on the remaining time. In this case, let's say we have 23 hours, etc. So that will work. As an example, if I just click here and change the status to workaround, just to show you how it works, then let's say I provided a workaround. If this field is related to the workaround, then as you can see, then the SLA time for workaround is gone because it's covered. So then they are related for the states and the steps from for the agents. So all right, so then that's the idea behind the SLAs. Not all of them are mandatory. Of course, this is just a module that is optional for certain clients that they do have SLAs internally for the end users or for the external clients. Also, it's also possible. Okay, so this is an additional module. Okay, so then additionally, we have up here say certain features. I will just have a quick look, different views like history, a very nice one. So then for companies that they have some audits, this helps a lot because it tells the details who changed what and when and what was the value. Table view, so then you can see how was the communication. Of course, the chat view, so then you can see the coming and going emails and chat messages. Then the timeline for the notifications. Then if let's say I'm not the one who is assigned to the ticket, but I want to keep track of this ticket, then you can just click here on subscribe, and the ticket will be uh, providing or sending you all the notifications from any activity that is happening to the ticket. Okay, then all these buttons are for showing the attachments or saving all the attachments in just one place and see some pinned articles that probably you want to mark as very important. Also, you can print or export all the ticket as a PDF file. Then, if you remember when we were talking about the relation of a ticket type, clear, you can click here and then you can create a new ticket with empty values or with inherit values in different ways. Related ticket, a parent-child ticket, or a subtask. And of course, if I click here, as you can see, it inherits all the values from the previous ticket. The idea behind this, of course, is that each one is different because parent-child behavior is different than, let's say, task and subtask, because until you close all the subtask tickets, then the main ticket can be closed. So that's the idea. Then we have another feature that is the document templates. It's a very nice feature that you can upload. In this case, as you can see, I uploaded an NDA example for a Word document, and this is great, because you can add many templates, many documents from Word. And what it does is that we use something that is called snippets, that you can take information, let's say the ticket number, company user, the date, creation date, queue, etc. So many, of course, some fields, of course, many fields to that in that case, because as an example, this NDA is a template that we use in the company, and the only thing we change when we send an NDA, it's the name of the company, the date, and some additional fields. So then we can upload the template from a Word document, and then when we click here and generate the document on down here on attached document, the system will generate this document based on the data from this ticket. So this is great because we don't have to type every single time once and again the company, the username, the last name, etc. But we can take that information and automatically create this document that, of course, we can download and print it, or we can send it through the system. That's also possible. So this is a very nice feature. And down here, down below, we have, of course, the different views. We can have internal notes. That's a very nice feature because you can say something like, "Hey team, please check this ticket." and you can send many internal notes to your team. And as you can see, it appears in a different color, so we know that this article is not displayed in the customer portal, so only agents with certain permissions will be able to see this article. Also here we can have the view on the articles to show us all the email and the details. Also, we can start some internal discussion, and even we can do something like on the social media, like when somebody mentions you, something like, let's say I will do like, please check, so then this agent means what it will happen is that it will receive as again a notification and an activity saying, hey, this agent mentioned you in this ticket, so then he can check the details here. So that's a very nice feature. Also, we can send a more formal email, of course, like, dear customer, and then write whatever we want. And of course, this is like a normal composed email that you can CC additional recipients, etc., etc. And then we can, one of the very nice features, of course, is that especially for the service desk and the support teams that normally it's very common that they receive similar or the same request or incidents very often. Let's say they usually have the top 10, top 5 most common requests. So then instead of typing every single time the same thing once and again, what they can do is that they can sell these templates. They can use also and get a hand on the templates from the emails, and they can say, let's say, demo of a template. So then they can just click here, and then they don't need to type every single time again when something it's a common issue or a common request. Okay, so then this is a predefined template. So then as many as you create, the better, because then as you can see, we only with 2 clicks in some seconds, then I can immediately reply to the user. So this is a very nice way to reply very fast, especially with the most common requests and incidents that we receive in the system. And two things happen. You can do it very fast, and the second thing is that, of course, your team will answer in a standard way, or will answer in the same way from the same issue. You don't have different answers. All right, so that's another nice feature. Of course, you can have and send many emails. Then the next one is a signature. You can add different signatures in the system just for the agents, for the queues, and different ways. Then also we have a survey module that at the moment that you decide that the ticket is closed or is completed, then if you decide, you can send a survey to the client or to the end user, so then they can grade your service, and you can see the report of how you're doing it. So then it's a one easy question plus some comments that they can add. So very nice additional feature. And of course, as I said, the internal notes here. If you remember, I was telling you about additional channels of communication. Then if we have additional integrations, we will have them here. Okay, then you can have private notes or preview or send. That's normal stuff. And I think we see pretty much all the features on the ticket details. Additionally, we have merge. That, of course, if you click here on merge, you decide, you know what, let's say that these 2 or 3 tickets, I want to merge them because for some reason they are duplicated, and I want to merge them in one because that's the case. Or if for some reason you want to remove a ticket, you can also click here and the ticket will be removed because maybe it can be spam or something like that. But as I said, these buttons are role based, so then not anybody is able to merge or remove a ticket. This is some specific permissions that you can give to certain roles. So, okay, and that's all the different views and the different details. That's a very nice feature. Additionally, what I will do is that I can show you how to create a ticket because, well, we have one thing that, as you can see, it saves some draft. Let's say that I will clean and delete this draft. But the idea here to show you, I'm not going to start all over again, but I want to show you a additional feature we have that is templates and multi-forms. So As you can see, at the moment that I select, let's say, type, I will say, okay, incident like I was doing. Then as you can see, it is displaying, okay, ticket reference, because sometimes when we report an incident, sometimes it comes from another system or something like that. So then I will say the ticket reference from the ERP or from the other system is this, so you can write it. Additionally, if not, then if we have the change management and we have a service request, request for change, then I click here, and as you can see, we have what is the, if it's a normal, an emergency change, a standard change, when are you going to plan the release, if it's approved, of course, who is going to approve, if it's approved or not, the impact, if it's system-wide, if it's a single user, like the case that we had before, when is going to be the maintenance window, when you will perform this change. And then later, once you fill up all these forms, because normally sometimes these forms can be in a document, you can put all these in a form and then do and configure all the workflow for your change management here. Very easy with approvals and everything. And then, or if it's a more complex document, you can just attach it and then you can create the ticket. So that's another option, to have custom fields, additional different fields from the incident to the change management, of course. Then I have another one, a very nice example, onboarding for a new employee. As you can see, if you remember, every time, or it's very common that in certain companies, uh, the HR department, when somebody there is a new employee, they will sign a contract and then they will come to ask for new services to the IT, to get ready with the laptop, mobile, and so on. So you can tell and create this new form in the system, a very nice one for the process, for the onboarding process, and then you can say, okay, please fill the form for the, let's say, ask the person from HR, and then they can create this form instead of sending you an email. So then it's better that they can say, okay, it's the Mint agent that. The staff ID, what department, let's say that this person will work in the IT department, and we'll start, let's say, on November 15, just to say. Additional, if you have social security number, additionally, who's going to be the manager, you can also have a custom field that looks into the clients or the agent database, so then you can mention or select who's going to be the manager, and probably if you need to have an approval, that will work perfect, because once this ticket is created, then it can go for an approval. As an example, I will say about services, then yes, I will need a company email, an Active Directory account, telephone extension, maybe not, he will work remotely, and additionally, please assign a personal computer, that it will be a laptop. Let's say give him a MacBook, and additionally, please give him a second monitor, a keyboard and mouse, and a webcam. All right. And please additionally install, uh, let's say, Power BI and the VPN and Microsoft Office or some additional software. So this is great because all these forms you can easily fill it for the onboarding process. And then I'm missing, okay, assign the queue. And then I will select service desk queue, and then it goes, and then the ticket is created. So this is great. And then as you can see, instead of seeing the information from the custom fields down here, I am gonna be able to see the form up here. So you have the chance to say that the custom fields can be seen in a tab view or in the right side on the ticket details view. Okay, so this is a very nice feature. Also, as you can see, now we have the SLAs. Now we have the first response time that I have, I think, 2 hours to answer. So then here automatically goes to the service desk, and then after that we can configure in the system what is the workflow and the status flow that we want this, in this case, the onboarding process to follow. All right, like as an example, let's say that it's a new request, then later, as you can see, it can only go to waiting for approval, of course, we can have an automation for that. And then from waiting for approval, it can be approved or not approved. If it's approved, then it continues. If it's not approved, then the ticket is closed, all right? And then in progress and so on. So then this is another feature that we have that you can configure the workflow that you want to define for each one of the different types and processes you want to configure in the system. If you remember, on the first ticket that we created, it's different because here we have other status sets of status, as you can see, closed, in progress, open, pending, etc. So it's a completely different one. Okay, so that's the idea of the ticket management and the ticket details. Finally, I will do a couple of things. If you remember, we were talking about contracts. Sometimes we have we want to there's two cases. We have multiple contracts from the same company, or sometimes for some reason, let's say there is a service request or something that we don't want this to be applied in the contract because if it's some job that is not support for incidents, then we charge that separate. So then, let's say in this case it's an incident and we do want to this is covered on the service contract that we have with this customer. So then I will click here on select and I will select the contract that I want to apply. So then now I'm saying that this ticket is covered by this contract. This is one thing. Then a couple of things related for the next I want to show you. First, estimation spend time. Remember I was telling you this about the time tracking. So for this, I can tell you the following. Let's say that sometimes we send this to a technician on the field, a developer, a consultant, or somebody that will work on this ticket to do some more stuff. So uh, maybe this technician will say, you know what, in order to do this, it takes me around, let's say, 8 hours of work. So then we will put 8 hours and save it, and then it's one day, it's fine. So then we will say, okay, all right, let me check, and then okay, it's approved. So, but they will assign this ticket to that technician, and for that we will say, you know, we know that we have the full age of the ticket, like from the ticket when it was created until it was closed. So that's perfect. That's right. But now you know the idea is that please register specifically the activities that you are performing or you are doing about this ticket based on this 8 hours estimation. Okay, perfect. So I can just come here and click OK. You know what? Yesterday I spent 2 hours doing, let's say, creating the virtual machine. All right, perfect. So then I will just click here and plus and save it. That's fine. Then later, probably tomorrow, I can just come, you know what? Then I also spend 1 hour, configuring the network or something like that and so on. You know what? That's the idea. And as you can see, the system is summarizing and all the reported time. And now, right now we have 3 hours and so on and so on. So then two important things here. One is that let's say that at the moment I do something crazy and because if I report something and then as you can see and the system is summarizing and then the spend time is more than the estimation time, then the system is showing this in red because then this means that the spend time is more than the time that it was estimated. So this is great for a couple of reasons. Then probably you can buy more hours, so then you can tell the customer, you know what, you just run out of the hours we assigned it, or we can also check why it is taking so long, so then there's different ways to use this information. And additionally, this leads me to jump into our contract management part, because I will tell you why is this related. Okay, so then as you can see here, I will jump here into contracts, and then I have this MintSD contract that I selected when I was showing you in the ticket. One thing, of course, you can add additional custom fields on the contract depending on the type. And then one thing, well, of course, I will do this. I will click here on edit so then you can see it in a more detailed view. The first thing, of course, you can enable or disable a contract, that's for sure. Put the name, the description, then You can enable contracts without assigning a company, like global contracts, that's fine, or enable it to all the companies or to the specific companies. So then I selected which companies can just apply or can just be apply this contract. Okay, that's an example. Then what services also, because it can be types and services, what services are covered by this contract, because again, sometimes we can have multiple contracts for the same company for different services. Like let's say if it's let's say PC support, we provide 24/7 support. But if it's network, then only for 10 to 4 or something like that. So then we can have different company contracts. That's also fine. Then apart from that, if the service is required on the when they specify the contract, then that's also possible. And of course, the contract period is very important. One of the features is that, of course, the system will send you a notification prior when this contract will be ended, so then you can configure when do you want to receive a month, 2 weeks, etc. To alert that this contract is over, okay? And additionally, with certain service providers, this is a very nice feature, because sometimes including the support contract, it also includes service hours, like, okay, we support you, we provide you some support, and additionally, uh, the support includes, let's say, in this case, 100 hours of service. So this is great because if you remember, then when we were talking about the tickets up down here, then this reported time when I select the contract, then it's related to the service hours we described here. So if I run the contract here, if you remember, we have 100 hours per month, and I just registered 9 hours on the ticket. So then we still have 91 hours. So then this is why I show you how to relate the contract in the ticket, and when we reported hours in the time tracking, then how is this being deducted from the hours on the taken the from the full hours from the contract. All right, so that's how it works. And of course, two things happen. Then later you can get a report about this of your contracts, and then if a client runs out of service hours, then you can send the invoice for the additional hours, because probably in one case it can happen that will be in negative, that let's say minus 20. This means that they consume 20 hours more on this month, so then you can send an invoice on the additional hours that you work. So this is how is the idea behind of this work. Okay, so this is how the contract management works. That's the case. And finally, I will give you a quick overview on the asset management part. Well, we have, let's say, the laptop that I show you, that here we have different features. First, of course, you can add a lot of attachments and screenshots for the computer. That's fine. Also, at the moment that the asset is created, the system can create a QR code that some of our clients, they have physical audits, yearly audits. So then what they do is that they print this QR code and they stick it to the physical device. So then later with a mobile, very easy, they can scan this QR code, and then that will lead them to this screen, this view, and then they can check, okay, the serial number, the asset tag, that the device is exactly the same, and they can go through the physical audit to check the equipment. That's also fine. And of course, this can be applied in many things: vehicles, different kinds of industries, licensing, etc. Many different ways for asset to be used. Then a couple of course, we can have lots of additional fields. We have integrations, and we are partners of different IT network discovery tools that we can scan that network and take that data from these discovery tools and then include it into the system. That's also possible, and then get this data. And also we have one field that is called alert date. So then, as an example, we have the warranty expiration date. So we can also configure like, hey, please send me an alert 1 month before, or 15 days before we reach this warranty expiration date. So then we can have the renewal, cancel the contract, send an invoice, whatever that triggers this expiration of the warranty. So you can trigger it with this notification. Then a couple of additional things. One that is what you just saw is that one additional element from not only from the asset management and the CMDB is also that the relation from the CIs, because it's not only one database with all the fields and data from the assets and so on, no, or the CIs, no. The most important thing also is the relation between them. In this case, I have related the printer. So as you can see here, we have pictures and so on, different data from this printer. But the good thing is that I can see that this printer is related to this computer. So this means that it's configured or is installed in this computer. So by doing that, this is great because then if for some reason one time this printer is broken, then I will see all the affected users or laptops that they have this printer configured. So then I will know which ones I need to reconfigure in order to be able to replace this printer. All right, and the opposite the same. I can see all the related assets to this printer in case I have to change it or to replace it. Then how is this going to be affected? Then the idea is even more clear when we talk about servers and virtual machines and so on, because let's say that I have this server one that it has its own features and so on. You can specify if it's a virtual machine or a physical server, etc. But then you can say, okay, the application that is inside of this server is SAP or this ERP, whatever you decide. So then later, if I want to perform an upgrade or when I have a request for change, if you remember when we were talking about tickets and request for change, and I relate this asset to this request for change, if it's approved and then it's executed, and then we have the released management and all this process, and then if something goes wrong and we have a backup plan or something, then we can check that. Let's say for some reason a user cannot access to SAP or something is wrong, then we will realize that is because on the server that the SAP wants installed, then there is a request for change related that affected the application, and then we have to do a rollback, etc. So this is why it's always good to have the relation between the assets. So for that, as you can see, we have here the option show related assets and then related tickets. So then in this, I can say that, okay, this ticket, this request for change is related, or this one that was the trigger for the change of this asset. So this is great for IT manager, ITSM managers to track the service, the change request that it was related to this asset. And if I go back and check the laptop as an example, I can just click here and show related tickets. And as you can see, we have many tickets. This is great because one thing, as you can see, based on my example, is that probably, or one thing that helps on the asset management part is that um, we I can see that there is a lot of network issues on this laptop. So maybe now that I can see the tickets related to this asset, then I can see that probably we have spent more money trying to fixing this laptop than buying a new one. You know what? So then, but the only way to know that is when you have the relation or the related tickets to the asset. So that's how why is very important or are very great, good the relation between these two modules. Additionally, of course, you can have the asset history. That's great for audit purposes too. And from here, you can immediately, of course, create a ticket, just let's say a maintenance ticket or something like that. So it's already relating the asset. So the all these options, this is about the asset management, of course, based on permissions and so on. Okay, so the last thing I want to finally do is that I can give you a quick overview about the tickets in the system or the reports part. A couple of things that I can tell you at the beginning. Any report, you can do many things. As you can see, we have report scheduler because sometimes we have to send the report every, let's say monthly reports about the incidents to the director, to the manager, or even to a particular client that we agreed that we will send you monthly reports of the created tickets. That's also possible. So then this is how the report scheduler works. You can configure it and define the period and to whom, etc. So that can be done. And I can just take, let's say, the example of the incidents in the system. And then here, well, I did a lot of stuff. Then I added lots of fields, all the fields that possible. This is later you can check the details, but just to give you an idea. This is great. We have a great reporting on the SLA part, because it's telling you, okay, let's say when the ticket was created, when the SLA was applied, when was supposed to be answered the ticket based on the SLA. Let's talk about first response time. And then the next field is okay when we do actually reply to the ticket, then with this information the system already they do some calculations. If you can see somewhere here, let's say creation date, notification date, and so on, target time, then the system can tell you, okay, let's say that I created a ticket at 9 a.m. and I have 60 minutes to answer. So then let's say that I answer at 9:30. Okay, so then the system will say, yes, the target was met. Yes, we reply on time under the SLA, and then the the delta, we reply in 30 minutes and we still had 30 minutes before the escalation of the tickets. All this data, and if it's then the last one, of course, escalated or not. So then all this data you can get from each one of the SLA options that we have. So that is why you can see lots of fields and of course all the custom fields from the system. So we can have lots of information. Then additionally, as I was telling you, this can be a report only assigned to me, or then I can share it with, let's say, the director or some many other agents. You can decide who can have access to this report. This is great, so then we cannot have duplicated reports. We just configure one, and then we share it with some other agents, or even like I told you with certain customers. That's also possible. Then additional fields and and report groups. I will delete this just to show you one example. Let's say, show me the incidents from this month. Okay, so I will click here on save, and then I will go back, and then I will click and I will run the report. So as you can see, here is the list of we have 3 incidents. Reported this month. As you can see, it's a long list because I configured all the fields from the ticket, so that is why it's very long. Also, you can click here, and the system will jump into the details of this ticket. That's also fine if you want to check the details. You can also click here and export to a CSV or an Excel file. This is also possible in any of the views of the system. If you remember, with the different views, you can just click and select and export tickets as a CSV and Excel file, depending on all the filtering that you want to do. That's also fine. The dashboard includes like show only the assigned tickets to me. That's great because I can have permissions to see more tickets, but sometimes I just want to see my tickets because I want to jump in and work on them. That's fine. Also, right now it's only showing the open tickets, so please show me the closed tickets because right now it's only showing the open tickets. Then also important, I want to check, let's say that I'm the manager from the service management, service level agreement. So then I need to see the tickets with the SLA, with SLA time. So then I can also do that filtering and so on. And then I can show additional filters. So that's great. And this all can be exported in a CSV or an Excel file, and then you can configure all the different columns you want to see here, and like an Excel, make it bigger, smaller. That's also not a problem, and remove some of them. You can also perform bulk actions like reassign a ticket, a queue, reassign to a specific agent, etc. So there's many things you can do here. All right, and then if I just go back to the incident, then just to show you the last part, is that on the reports you can group it by different fields. Let's say that in this case I want to group it by, let's say, by company or by status. So then you can make a lot of grouping. Let's say I will group by company and by state, let's say status. So then I will do these two. So then later I will click here on save, and then I will run the report again. So as you can see now the view is different. So then it's telling me all these three incidents are related to this company and all of them are in the status of workaround. So then the same, you can export this as a CSV or an Excel file, but now they are grouped in some other ways. And then there's many options. So let me check if this contract works also. No, there is no data to show, but it's great because in here you can show the report for the contracts, uh, how the here, as you can see, this work like, okay, show me contract and contract start date and date, and then you can also show the reported hours as an example. So there's many ways to play with these reports, the incidents, the SLA, reported times, etc. So all of these are what is possible to the on the reporting part. On the new version, we will have a graphic dashboard with reporting and widgets, so that's also included. And we also have integration with additional reporting and BI tools like Power BI and some others. Okay, so that's about the system, about the current latest version of the Enterprise Mint Service Desk. So please feel free to contact us, and thank you for your